Whew. Man, what a way to end the year this is. Welcome back to the channel, ladies and gentlemen, and yep, here we are, the final movie review of 2020 for me. The worst year of all time. We are so close to the end of the Error 404 year because since March it has not been found. Congratulations, we've all made it out. But as always, I thank you so much for stopping by and I really hope you enjoy your stay. But this time around, we are looking at one of the most pleasantly surprising films of the year, Promising Young Woman. So much buzz around this one, directed by the debuting Emerald Fennell, and it stars Carey Mulligan as truly a promising young woman named Cassie. And Cassie's life is anything but ordinary. She had to drop out of med school because of circumstances that I dare not spoil here. I will say that it's not because she wasn't making grades or whatever, because she's super intelligent and ultra cunning, and she's currently living a secret double life by night when we first meet her, but an unexpected encounter gives her a golden opportunity to wipe the slate clean and right some wrongs of her absolutely haunting past. Man, oh man, where do I even start? Okay, so there's obviously a lot to dissect here, but let me just start off by saying this. On a personal note, just to put this into perspective, I took my girlfriend to this movie at a drive-in last night as of recording, and I did not watch a single trailer for this one. I only saw minimal images of Carey Mulligan in press releases, and I had no idea how intense this film was. So without spoiling anything, once the third act comes around and once a certain event occurs, I almost looked over at Lauren sitting right next to me and I was almost like, I am so sorry. But then there's a shift. The film literally and figuratively tells us, you didn't think this was the end, did you? If you've seen it already, you know what I'm talking about. But that ending just totally turned her around, and it made her cheer. And then I looked over at her once it slams over to the credits, and I asked her, so Lauren, how'd you like it? And she was like, I loved it. I loved it so much. And you know what? It really made me happy to hear her say that, because honestly, I really loved this film too. This is without a doubt one of the most socially important films of the entire year. It is dealing with some very hefty and very difficult subject matter. And this is a film that holds nothing back. It is hardcore. It is emotionally gritty. But no matter how complicated this subject matter is in real life, this film gets it. And my God, how they relate this subject matter to the audience is just, oh, man. Let me just say, this is a very, very special debut for one Emerald Fennell. I would have never guessed that this was her directorial debut here, because she shows so much prowess behind the camera. I mean, look at this editing, the cinematography, the costume design, the color palette. There is so much pink in this film. It is all so immaculate. But here's the thing that I really respect about Fennell's direction that I don't think enough people are going to be looking at. She treats this subject matter as it should be, and it shows in the filmmaking. It's almost like a horror movie in a lot of parts. I've said this in many reviews on this channel in the past, but what I find scary isn't necessarily like the gore or just showing people a dead body per se. It's all about leaving the visual of these gruesome images up to the audience's interpretation. And I've said this a lot, but implied horror, that's what really, really gets under my skin. And these scenes, man, one of which Again, I dare not spoil it, but one of which involves a cell phone that Cassie is watching an old video clip on. That is just so disgusting and vile and, oh my God. But you know what the amazing thing about this film is, guys? Despite all of that, this film can be funny as hell. This is some dark humor, and it's all in the razor-sharp dialogue that Fennell is bringing to the table. This is some immaculate writing from her as well. And a lot of this comedy comes from Burnham's character, Ryan, in this, who I'm glad to see isn't just repeating stuff. And yeah, those hardcore Burnham fans will get that joke. But kidding aside, Burnham was so... oh, man, he was excellent here. I'm so surprised by his performance. He was witty, he was likable, he was approachable. Something that not a lot of men are in this movie. I mean, seriously, a lot of the dudes in this made me feel ashamed of my gender. And this is something that other films have tried to do and subsequently failed miserably. But I feel like Promising Young Woman doesn't go about that in a way that tries to insult me. Now, listen, I realize that this may not feel like everybody's perspective, but from where I was sitting, it almost felt like a mother calmly trying to teach their kids a lesson when they've done something really bad. But she doesn't hate her kids. She still loves them no matter what. But she makes sure that what that kid did was wrong. And that's what it felt like a lot of the time. And let me just say also, it was really, really frustrating to see the things that were going on go down without much of a hitch. I mean, these guys are just some of the most fucking awful, delusional excuses for human beings I've ever seen in my life. They are absolute train wrecks. And this is not a con in the filmmaking at all, by the way. It's absolutely necessary to show how terrible these guys are, just to really get under your skin and to also teach you a really important lesson. And I think that was one of the most effective things about this film. Let me just clarify something for you really quick. Bo Burnham's character in this is not one of those guys. He feels like someone that I'd want to chill with on a Friday night at a bowling alley while I was in high school. I mean, come on now. There's a scene where he's literally lip-syncing like a total geek. Seriously, guys, he is just that easy to love. And not just him, all of these actors do an excellent job in this film, and it's a pretty big cast, too. Laverne Cox is really fun as Cassie's co-worker in the coffee shop. Alison Brie also. Just fantastic in getting under my skin with how passive her character is. And there's one really famous actor who I was completely unaware had a smaller cameo role in this, and when I saw him come to... Man, oh man. Those of you who've seen it will know who it is, but I dare not spoil who, because again, I had no clue. But when he showed up, Lauren can attest to this, but I lost it. I was literally just like, holy shit, is that who I think it is? He was who I thought it was, and he was really good, as per. But in all honesty, let's just cut right to the chase, and let's talk about Carey Mulligan, because in essence, this is her movie. I mean, for all intents and purposes, she is in frame for pretty much almost the entire thing. I want to say about 95% of the movie. She is right there in front of us. And I gotta say, guys, she eats up every moment like it is her last. She is absolutely captivating. And this role, keep in mind, it's not an easy role to get right because Cassie has tons of layers to her. And Mulligan absolutely nails every last detail of her personality. She disappears into this part. I really do think she needs to be nominated by every major awards outlet for Best Actress once that time arrives, because this is legitimately the best performance of her entire career. She just commands the room, and she commands your attention every single time she steps into frame. And she always has something important to say because, well, it is important, and she sells it as such. I mean, she really does deserve all the praises you've heard about this performance, and then some. I mean, God, this film was fantastic, guys. Again, what a way to end the year. I mean, yeah, sure, you can nitpick this film all you like, because there are a fair amount of cliches that pop up. I noticed the liar revealed cliche pop up at least 5 different times throughout this. But it's absolutely necessary to tell this kind of a story. I do have a couple of small issues with this film, though. First of all, I don't know how rewatchable this film's gonna be, because it really, really got under my skin. I definitely want to check this movie out a second time, but like, years and years down the road, I really don't know. This film really got me. But the glaring issue for me technically was the first act, because I thought it was kind of slow. I think once we find out why Cassie is doing what she's doing, then the film gets amazing. Once we figure out her motivations, it is a non-stop pulsating ride from beginning to end. And I think that first act really does pale in comparison to the rest of the film, just because it feels extremely slow. And even though I thought this film was quite funny, there were times where I wish the movie got a little bit more serious, and sometimes those jokes will feel awkward where they're placed, so sometimes the film can feel tonally inconsistent that way. I mean, besides those pacing and tonal issues that I have, man, I cannot recommend Promising Young Woman enough to you guys. It is without a doubt one of the strongest and one of the most important films of the year. I'm gonna give it an A. This is a film that will certainly be talked about for years to come. Like I said, Carey Mulligan should be nominated for any and all eligible awards for this performance. It is a mesmerizing debut for a very promising director. I cannot wait to see what else Fennell does after this. And I will say also, again, without spoiling anything, one of the most emotionally cathartic endings you'll see all year. If you feel safe going to a movie theater right now, if you want to go to a drive-in to see it like I did, definitely don't miss this one, guys. Now, what do you guys think? Have you seen Promising Young Woman? Are you looking forward to seeing it? Did you enjoy it? Did you not? I would love to hear all of those thoughts down in the comments section down below there. Let's have a further discussion about movies, guys. I'm also curious, what was your favorite movie of the year? Let me know down there as well. And as always, if you guys are enjoying this content, if you guys want a place to continue discussing cinema and all things entertainment, right here on my channel is certainly a place to do it. So feel free to consider hitting that subscribe button down below as hard as you possibly can, because first, it's free. It definitely does help out the channel. And number two, if you subscribe, you guys will be the first ones to know anytime I upload a new video over here. If you guys enjoyed this review, also, please be sure to leave a thumbs up on your way out. I'd really appreciate that. And as always, look out for more exciting content hitting this channel very, very soon. You guys are awesome. With all that being said, back talk, commence.